Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze feels more like an old Rareware game than anything we've gotten since Star Fox Adventures on the GameCube, which kinda means we need to talk about the role that Rare used to fill for Nintendo. Before they got purchased by Microsoft all the way back in 2002, Rare was Nintendo's right hand. During Nintendo's heyday, Rare filled the gap between first-party releases. They managed to put together games that felt an awful lot like Nintendo titles pretty much every year. You like Super Mario Bros? Chances are good you're gonna like Donkey Kong Country. Mario Kart? Probably gonna dig Diddy Kong Racing. And so on. But with the exception of the studio's most defining title, they made games that stood in for full-fledged Nintendo releases. Great playing games with above-average visual design and tons of personality, but nonetheless games that weren't quite as special as a Nintendo game. And Tropical Freeze fits that description perfectly. It's an easy game to like. It looks and sounds great, with some of the game's visuals rivaling the stunning Little Big Planet and a soundtrack put together by the series' original composer. But it never finds a compelling way to differentiate itself. It's still the slower and more calculated platformer that relies on preparation and patience more than quick reflexes. It actually takes preparation a step further by introducing a handful of new items that you have to equip before the start of each level. One of these new items is the green balloon, which saves you from falling down a pit and is a reasonable attempt to make a difficult game more accessible. But since they can't be equipped mid-level, you won't know if you need a balloon until it's too late. But what the inclusion of something like the green balloon really signals is that the game knows you're going to die a lot, and that being saved the frustration of repeating a section is a small blessing. Trying to memorize each level goes a long way to keeping you alive, but it's clear that the game needed more alternatives to save you from certain death. There are a few spots later in the game you'll be forced to repeat so many times it starts to feel like running back to your corpse in an MMO. And it's made worse by the game's loading, which can get really aggravating when you hit one of those rough patches. The loading's actually an even bigger issue if you're trying to play the game co-op. Small piece of advice: don't play the game co-op unless you're up for a controller-crushing challenge. Each monkey gets 2 hearts, so when you're playing solo, you usually have 4, which means that you can brute force harder sections if you need to. But in co-op, you split the hearts between players, and you lose twice as many lives every time you need to restart. It is terrific that the feature's there, but it's not an ideal way to play the game. I had a good time playing Tropical Freeze. The lively music and visual aesthetics do a lot to make the platforming exciting. But it's a game that never finds a reason to exist beyond, more Donkey Kong would be fun, right? And I could never shake the feeling that everything going on was something I'd seen before. It's not a sense of nostalgia so much as deja vu.